This particular session is basically meant for parents who are sitting there who are thinking about what they should be planning for their children, whether they should actually think of a proper type of a career planning or not, whether to go to a counselor or not. When these kind of thoughts come to your mind, so this session is primarily for those parents. I'm going to be introducing a new concept to the parents out there. And this concept is very similar to a Johari window, but it's not the Johari window. It's something different out here. It's a concept that I'm introducing here, which we believe in Dheya is very important for parents to understand. Now, this concept, as you see on this screen out here, is I've created a BCG matrix of I know, I don't know, I know, I don't know. Let me explain this to you. See, as parents, when we take decisions, especially when it comes to selecting education streams for our children, or taking a career path or taking a decision, especially parents who are already in the corporate space or working in service, in the government service and all. Of course, there are entrepreneurs, there are business families, so they're coming from different spectrums of the industry. But everybody goes through a certain process in their mind for decision making, and let's understand that. Now, when we look at this matrix, it's very clear that the first part of it is I know and I know. So this is the first quadrant. And this is the general quadrant in which decisions are being taken. That means the example is that I'm an engineer and I have worked in the Indian Navy. So I know everything about the Indian Navy and how to make an entry there and what is the life going to be in the Indian Navy. So it is a portion which comes in this matrix, is this quadrant, that I know about it. So my decision making generally happens in this space. So whether you belong to a family in which the parent is working in the IT industry or in the telecom industry or in any particular field, so you're completely aware about that field and you know a lot about that field. So that's something that most of the parents use to make a decision making. So a doctor wants his child to become a doctor, or an engineer wants his child to become an engineer, or a lawyer wants his child to become a lawyer. So generally what happens is, what we see in the entire environment and what we've been seeing is, parents are very much aware about those common streams like medical, engineering. So typically if you look at it, the engineering space, the medical space, the law, and then you have the chartered accountancy. So these are the common areas which generally parents are aware about. So I know that I know. So this is a very, I would say, just about 4% of the entire opportunities that are available lies in this quadrant. Now let's look at the next quadrant, which I know that I don't know. So today children are well informed. So they come to you and ask you that I want to be a YouTuber or I want to be a gamer. And parents are worried because though there's a lot of hype about it and a lot of people are talking about it, but what knowledge do you have about it? So I do not know whether this is, so I know that I do not know about that particular options. So there is a big dilemma in the mind. So you seek information in those areas. So this is the quadrant in which information is being sought. So you go and do searches, you go and approach people, you find out people and you go and approach them and you look for a mentor or look for a counselor and you try to identify whether you can get some knowledge and shift it from this quadrant to this quadrant. So that's the intention of a parent, to seek information so that you can shift yourself about that particular area from this quadrant to this quadrant. Now and if you look at it again, the children coming to you and telling you that I want to be this, I want to be that, is peer pressure influenced keywords. Like I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a gamer, and they are Googling a lot of stuff, they are talking amongst themselves and they believe that I want to be an influencer. So all these are all peer pressure influenced keywords, and based on that you are trying to find out information. Again, I would say another 5 to 10% of the opportunities are there. So totally if you look at it, we are around in the range of 10 to 15% of whatever is available out in the world is there in this left hand 2 quadrants. Now comes the real part. I do not know that I know. Now you're wondering, what is this all about? It's very interesting to understand. There are a lot of innate areas which we are very good at. Now you take your example as a parent. When you were young, you were passionate about something. I was a great table tennis player. I used to play really well, though I didn't take any professional coaching, but I have gone up to the state level. Similarly, if you look at your own lives and you look back at your lives, you'll realize that there is some innate talents in you, innate areas in you, which probably you don't even, you're not even thinking about it. It's all suppressed, it's all gone below the radar. It's not there in your radar as of now. So I do not know that I know about it. So, and you're not even thinking about it when it comes to your own child's career. So similarly, your child could have certain talents, certain areas of which could have huge opportunities in the present world of work, which probably you're not even aware about. So it's very important to take that into consideration, because this becomes a very, very critical area when it comes to selecting a career. Because if your passion becomes your profession and there are opportunities available there, then life can be great. A, the child will be happy, enjoy doing work, and once you enjoy your work, there is a huge probability that you will excel in your work. So enjoyment leads to excellence, and excellence leads to productivity, and productivity leads to growth in value, growth in income, and growth in reputation. Everything goes up. So this is a very, very important quadrant where there has to be a focus on identifying those innate knowledge areas, passion areas, skills and hobbies which child has. You may not give importance to it today because you're not even aware that there are opportunities available related to that. And that is something that you need to identify. So this is another quadrant which is very important. But then let's look at the fourth quadrant, which is also the most critical quadrant. Because if we are talking about the world of work and we are talking about building careers for our children, remember, if a child is in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th standard, these kids are going to get into work at least 5 to 10 years from now. And 5 to 10 years from now, the whole world of work is going through a change. Or there are paradigm shifts that are going to happen in the way we work, in the way the fields are being looked at. A simple example, if you look at the automobile sector, there is going to be a shift into the electric vehicle segment. So the electric vehicle segment is going to completely change the way automobile engineering is being done, or maybe the business is being done, or maybe what are those ancillary industries that are supporting the automobile industry. The complete field is undergoing a metamorphosis or a change. How much are we preparing ourselves for this change? That's number one. So the future of work is going to be completely changed, which we probably are not even aware or not even thinking about it. Though at a back level or some kind of news information or Googling information, we are aware about certain changes, but we are not seriously looking at it as a career option for our children when it comes to selecting education streams or when it comes to thinking about a career for your child. So that's a complete blind spot today when it comes to career guidance and career planning in most of the families today. We're not even thinking about it. Now there are opportunities available in huge number of areas. I would say there is a huge 80% opportunities that we are completely blind about. And these opportunities are available in the industries that exist today, and the way the industry is changing. If you look at the future of work, there's a huge amount of possibilities and opportunities that are going to mushroom up and sprout up, which we need to be cognizant about. For example, when in the 80s, when we were passing out from our schools, people are talking about computers and computer science and all that, and we were very skeptical about it at that point in time. In the 90s, the boom happened where anybody got into IT, earned a lot of money for themselves, they really did well, and even today the hangover effect of that is there. Though, it's not relevant anymore. If you realize everybody is jumping behind IT based on the 90s boom, but it's no longer relevant. In fact, there are so many IT people in the market today, they have become redundant. The degree in IT has become redundant today to most extent because very few people are actually making it to the top and they are being showcased. But 95% of the population is just doing mediocre work. That is because that boom is over long time back. It's no longer relevant. But there are booms that are going to come up in the future. We have to learn about it. We have to be proactive about it. We have to ride the wave. We cannot be laggards. We cannot be unaware and remain in a blind spot and then later on realize and then then try to chase something which is already gone. The way it is happening with IT. So therefore, we need to be very, very proactive, fleet-footed to understand these right quadrant of ours. And these quadrants of ours have to move into this quadrant. That means we have to become aware about it, we have to have knowledge about it, we have to build our knowledge, and that is where this career guidance properly done through an organization which has proper research on the various possibilities in the occupation field, also understanding of the innate knowledge areas and passion areas of your child is very critical. Most of the times what happens is, this is a saying in Hindi, Ghar ki murgi, dal barabar. So what happens is, even though you think that you know your child very well, at times you need a third party interference to sit down together as a family and to understand those nuances which you knew but you were taking for granted. And it happens. It happens with every one of us. So what happens is, I may say something to my child may not listen to me. But when a third party or a person like you who would come and sit with a family and as a mentor talk to me with a lot of credibility and value, a lot of opening up happens, a lot of realization happens, and that is where these things come out. And when this gets linked to this, automatically you see certain opportunities and then it moves into this window. So that is the concept of career guidance and career planning, which is very important from the perspective of two things. One is knowing your child very well, and second is knowing the possibilities in the world of work very well. And that's why, if you do not plan your career, if you do not plan the life of a child at an early age, what is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of dancing around later on, a lot of experimentation later on, and the time is going to get lost. And what will happen is you will rather join into the herd mentality of engineering, medical, law, and those few options that are available to the entire world. The market is only playing on this. So if you keep playing on the market's education market, which is only telling you to prepare for entrance exams into engineering, medical, law, and so on and so forth, you lose out on huge number of opportunities that are sprouting up in the world of work and what is connected to the child's mind and interest and passion. And that is why Dheya offers a comprehensive mentoring process and connecting a mentor to your family where you can work for a lifetime to ensure that your child actually reaches a great level in whatever the child chooses to do as per their own interests. Thank you.